everyone, it's Elizabeth from elpisastrology at elpisastrology.com. Thanks for joining me today. So this is my take on the July 2023 astrology. As per usual, you can listen to my take, but of course it's up to you how you interpret these energies for your life. So we have a full moon in Capricorn, a new moon in Cancer, we have a Venus retrograde starting in Leo, and we have the Sun ingressing into Leo as well this month. All right, so we start off the month with a full moon in Capricorn on the 3rd of July. It's at 11 Capricorn, 18 minutes at 4:49 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. I really liked this, even though it's a full moon, and classically in astrology we say this is a wrapping up, it's a culmination, and it's an ending. We've got a big involvement of Jupiter here at this time. We have the moon that's trining Jupiter. We have the sun that's sextiling Jupiter. So these are just bringing in some positive energies for what? Expansion, generally speaking. It's also, our future is very much viewed by Jupiter. Jupiter can also represent things like foreign places, foreign things. So some of us may be planning travel or maybe coming to the end of travel. We have the sun, which is in Cancer, of course, because it's the opposite sign to the full moon in Capricorn, will conjunct Mercury. And so this just brings in some communications that might be very nurturing and compassionate for us. Mars will conjunct Venus. And although Mars and Venus in Leo will be in Leo together, they never actually conjunct. So I really saw this for July and August, this sort of dance of lovers, right? Because both Mars and Venus are viewed as the celestial lovers, emphasizing the whole love part of the Venus retrograde, which I'll talk about in a minute. We also have two retrograde planets, Neptune and Pluto, that will be forming a sextile. And this really speaks to us having an opportunity to see the truth of maybe some of our philosophies or beliefs that may not resonate with us as much. Now, this will continue on through some of the month as well, this particular aspect. So we can look at the whole month of July, not just the full moon and new moon with this influence, but certainly it will be adding that element to both moons. We have a wide sextile between Jupiter and Saturn. And so this also brings in this element of planning, planning for the future. Jupiter is all about looking at the future. Saturn says, let's plan. Saturn says, let's be real. Saturn also says it's time. So although you may be wrapping up some things here, you may also be making a decision to start some kind of planning process where you look at, where do I want to go in the future here? And where you want to go in the future may apply to that Venus retrograde that I'll talk about in a minute. Who do I want to love? So on the 12th and 13th of July, we have now Mercury joining both Mars and Venus in Leo. And so this just brings in potentially messages for love, maybe messages about money, maybe messages about the value of ourselves. Others may be having some thoughts about, am I really valuing myself in this relationship? Or am I really being valued in the way I make my money? So those sorts of things could be going on as well. But you may just get a direct message from, say, somebody that loves you. Or you, in turn, may tell someone that you love them. We have the new moon in Cancer coming up on the 17th of July at 24 Cancer, 56 minutes. So that's almost 25 Cancer at 11:32 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So happy new year to all my Cancer viewers and clients. I wish you all the best. This is your official new start to the year. Now, we have the sun and the moon that will be sextiling Uranus. And so this brings this element of excitement and surprises in a very positive way. So there may be opportunities at this new moon, especially if you've got, say, something around the 24, 25 degree mark of Cancer, that will really excite you emotionally. We do have a wide opposition with the Sun and Moon at almost 25 Cancer, with Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. And although it's off a few degrees, because Pluto is such a powerful planet, I really wanted to say that I think this influence is there by opposition. So this can just basically bring in some very powerful emotions bubbling up to the surface, right? And this can be positive or negative, depending, where we're at, I guess. In particular, are we feeling nurtured? Are we feeling that we're nurturing too many people and we're not getting nurturing ourselves? I would say at this new moon, this is asking us to take new steps with regards to nurturing ourselves first and being compassionate with ourselves first before we try to do the same for others. And again, we've got this whole Neptune and Pluto sextile, reviewing maybe some of these practices that we've been doing, some of the philosophies that we've had. Maybe some of our dreams may come into the picture here. I really felt this strongly during both moons for sure, that it may be a time where our dreams actually give us some truths in our lives as well. So the next thing that we have happening here, on the 23rd of July at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, we have Venus going retrograde in Leo at 28 degrees of Leo. So I did do a video, an extensive video on this, and I included all the ascendants and sun signs. I put the link below here in the text box, so please feel free to watch it if you would like. I do go into a lot of detail. It was 8 years ago when we had a Venus retrograde happen in Leo last time. So you might want to reflect back to remember maybe what was going on, because some of us will literally have a past love come back into our life that was significant at this time. Now, it can also mean, especially with Leo, past significant friendships in our early days. That sort of thing can come back for you too. So what we have happening here is we have Mercury is widely conjuncting the Venus at this time. And Venus will continue to conjunct this because, of course, it's going to be going backwards from 28 degrees on the 10th of August and the 29th and 30th of September 2023. So note those dates, because those are the dates when more than likely you will reach out to somebody or someone will reach out to you in terms of communications of some sort, or at the very least, thoughts of love. At this Venus retrograde, we have nicely the moon at 5 degrees of Libra. And recall that Venus in the natural zodiac rules Libra as well as Taurus. But in this case, it provides this other lovely aspect with regards to the sign that the moon is in. And I think it just lends a very nice supporting energy, as well as an attracting energy. Don't forget that Venus at its core really likes to attract. Now, it attracts through what? By being beautiful, by being nice, by being sweet, by socializing, by having nice manners. So it all kind of blends in very nicely here at this time, even though we've got Venus going retrograde. And so there's a wide sextile with that moon, with the sun in Leo. Because, of course, we have Leo, or it's the sun rather, ruling Leo, enters Leo at the same day as this Venus retrograde. So even though it's a retrograde, I really saw that this was so positive at this time. It just was a beautiful setup of energy, essentially. Anyway, I thought it was a nice start to the Venus retrograde, I guess is what I'm really saying. Again, take a look at my video that I did on this Venus retrograde, link below. Now, when we look at the Sabian symbol so we always round up when we look at what degree should we read for in the Sabian symbol book. And it is 29 degrees of Leo. And we know that that 29 degrees in any sign is kind of a culminating energy and a critical degree. And so this is also adding a big importance with regards to what? Well, it adds an importance to what do we want to love and what do we want to love us. So I guess be careful what you ask for, because this is a powerful energy at this 29 degrees of Leo. It could bring in what you want. So the image is a mermaid emerges from the sea or the waters to be reborn as a human. So if we remember some of our classic art, it depicts Venus exactly in this way, right? I thought that was very interesting how this lined up with that energy of the Venus retrograde. And so this is essentially saying, as this Venus retrograde begins, feelings become conscious form. So take care of what you wish for, especially when it relates to love. Now, I'm making this video fairly early in June. And if you're listening to it then, I would suggest that, you do some review of what do you want in love? What means something to you with regards to your love life and the person that's in it for you? And more and just as importantly, what do you feel you're going to give out? Instead of just all this big receiving thing, ask yourself what you would give out to show your love to somebody. And if you're really puzzled and you're not sure what to do with regards to this, and you don't want to get things wrong, and you might have a bit of anxiety, don't go there. I would say the easiest way is to put a vision board together. And I mean, this is something that my clients, almost all my clients, I tell them to do because it works. Put a vision board together that really says what you really value, what you really want to attract with regards to love. And put something together that displays or reinforces those feelings more than anything else. And make sure you look at that every day to remind yourself what it is, how you want to feel when you fall in love. And then you're sending that out to the universe to tell the universe how you want to feel. So that's a really good constructive way to use this Venus retrograde start and the whole Venus retrograde period itself, right? Now, the Venus retrograde officially stops the first week of September 2023, but Venus will stay in Leo as it goes direct right the way through the first week of October 2023. So this is a long period of time that we have Venus in Leo. And certainly there's other things that can be brought up, anything to do with beauty. Clothes are also put into this, clothes and fashion as well. Could have some interesting turnarounds. Again, I've got all that in my video itself. On the 26th of August, we have the Sun, which is the ruler of Leo, now conjunct that degree point, 28 degrees of Leo, that Venus went retrograde. So this is another date that may be of seminal importance for you with regards to something happening in your love life, values, value of self, but it can also have something to do with money and, of course, past significant friendships for you. So on and around this time, of course, we have the north nodes will be changing sign. The transiting north nodes will be changing sign, and they start at the end of a sign. Remember, there's 30 degrees in every sign. And so we have the transiting north nodes now going into 29 degrees of Aries. And so this is a pretty important time period where, we've got Aries in particular highlighted. If you've got your north nodes in Aries, this is a whole cycle of about 18 months where you will have eclipses happening in Aries. as well as in the opposite sign of Libra. All right, well, we have a little August peek for you. We have 2 full moons in August. One is in Aquarius, one is in Pisces. We have a new moon in Leo. And so that new moon in Leo in August at 23 degrees of Leo will also be important for some folks as well, because it'll usher in some newness, even though we still have the Venus retrograde going on throughout August. But we will have a Mercury retrograde start at this time in Virgo, and Uranus will go retrograde in August. All right, next I'm going to be covering each of your sun signs and or your ascendants. I say if it resonates with you, read your sun sign, listen to your sun sign. My preference is for you to read for your rising or ascendant sign, because that will give you the house, and the house gives you the area of your life using whole sign houses. And then listen to your sun sign, because the sun is the most important luminary in your chart, right? So Leo, oh my goodness, boom. I hope I have some Leos. Let me know over the next few months what's happening to them, because it's a pretty exciting time for you, Leo. So this is Leo suns, generally speaking, and Leo ascendants. But of course, if you've got a conglomeration of planets, that could be a big influence here for you too. But while this is, I think, even though it's a Venus retrograde, and there are different things that are happening by squares in my video. If you want to look at it, Leo, you may get some more insight into it. But overall, I really felt that this whole Venus retrograde period, especially for Leos, is going to be their opportunity to be courageous and reach out for a true love that means something to them, that brings them some beautiful, lovely energy their way. And you are going to spend that summer time period either being in a relationship and reflecting on it, or maybe harking back to previous love relationships that you have. And or don't forget, Leo, you could have past loves, whether you still love them or not, still come back into your life, and you have to still deal with them. So like I said, I'm making this video in June. Maybe spend some time. Was there a past love that you felt got away and you wish they had not got away? This might be your opportunity, Leo, to have that love come back in and make it real for yourself. Of course, that's going to be really up to you and what you want to do. But certainly the Venus retrograde is going to be awesome for you. I would say for Leos, look to that new moon at 23 degrees of Leo in August for some kind of new beginning. If you are looking at relationships, for sure, so love relationships. Also, any kind of creative project, children, maybe getting pregnant, having a child, those could all be in the mix as well. Even starting your own business is within the auspices of Leo, right? As it rules the 5th house. So look towards that new moon in August, I would say, is I guess a direction thing that I could tell you. But certainly by the first week in September, there should be some kind of understanding of where you want to go with either a creative project or this love in your life. So when we look at that full moon in Capricorn, it is in your 6th house of what? Your day-to-day job. It's your health. It can be small animals too. So I would say that some kind of illumination is going to be happening in this area. What could that be? Well, you could just be letting go of a job, maybe starting another job within the same company that you're in, or starting a whole new job somewhere else. Because Capricorn is kind of more associated with business, I would say that might be the emphasis for some Leos at this time. It can also mean the changing of some, say, supervisor. You may change a supervisor for some reason where you have to report to someone different now. Or the structure of your day-to-day job has to change. And I guess nowadays, classically, that could play out that no longer can you work at home. You've got to go back to the office, or certainly spend more time in the office. But whatever it is, the structure could change for you with regards to that. And if you don't work, this is what do you do day to day, right? Those things are up for some change and endings at this time. So when we look at the new moon in Cancer, that's going to be in your 12th house. And so, Leo, I really felt that with all the excitement and everything going on, it just might be towards the end of July that you just need a rest. That, you've had people contacting you, new creative projects coming in, maybe children are more demanding. It could be all those things are really taking a lot of energy out of you. And you just need to take some rest and some time for yourself. 12th house. Why not? For others, you may have some kind of new start with regards to what? Anything to do with hidden places and hidden things. So these we talk about like hospitals, government offices, ashrams. So some of you that do need the rest may decide to take a lovely ashram trip where you rejuvenate yourself. But for others, it may mean some kind of new start with regards to maybe you have to help take care of someone that's in the hospital. It doesn't say you will go in the hospital. It just seems that there's some new beginning there in that regard. I mean, I'm thinking, if we want to blend the new moon, the new moon really is pretty darn close to the Venus retrograde period. And because it affects you so directly, Leo, for some, it may involve a new creative project that requires nurturing. And perhaps that truly is in a hospital setting, right? All right. Keep me posted, Leo, and enjoy the ride. All right, folks. Well, that wraps up my July video. If you would like your chart done, I would love to do it. Astrology means a lot to me, and I absolutely love doing it, interacting with all my clients. I love them all. Sending everybody lots of love, and especially during this month of July with the Venus retrograde. You're going to have a chance, I think all of us are going to get a chance to either continue with our love story or start seeing a love story that could begin, but making sure that it's true love and it's not all just show. Others, it's going to bring in some money potentially through creative projects. All right. Take care, everybody. We will talk to you next month. Bye for now.